Mitt Romney, ladies and gentlemen, apparently he had, got called to the principal's office today. The Utah GOP wanted to have a little sit down with Mitt Romney. I'll let you know exactly what was said there as soon as I find out, but clearly it was not going to be an attaboy. And why? Well, look, we have the entire Republican Party unified as it's really ever been for the last 3 years. With all the noise, the worse it got with the Democrat Media Alliance, the GOP, to their credit, has circled the wagons really well. You remember how they treated Kavanaugh? And I have to be honest with you, I was completely ready for the GOP to cave like they always did. And of course they almost did. We all remember Jeff Flake wetting himself in an elevator as some harpy screaming in his face. They almost did, but they held the line. They held the line. And the truth of the matter is most of those spineless invertebrate senators, they're gone now. But we still have one or two floating around. And of course, Mitt Romney is obviously numero uno when it comes to that kind of a thing. And these guys are an issue for us. They're an issue for the Republican Party. No, I do not want senators to be a bunch of little errand boys for the president. I think that's absurd. Each senator has his own mind, and that's fine. But when you have an unjust impeachment of the president of the United States, when the facts aren't with them, when the entire rest of the GOP, not exactly all a bunch of, stalwart conservatives are like, yeah, this is a bunch of crap. And yet there's one guy who decides he has to be the lone Republican voice, just following his conscience and, his faith.
In the last several weeks, I've received numerous calls and texts. Many demanded in their words that I stand with the team. I can assure you that thought has been very much on my mind. You see, I support a great deal of what the president has done. I voted with him 80% of the time. But my promise before God to apply impartial justice required that I put my personal feelings and political biases aside.
I don't believe you, Mitt, and neither does anybody else. I'm not talking about Mitt's faith. That's none of my business. I don't judge other people's faith whatsoever, except for you climate change nutters. You people are insane. But I didn't do it for personal reasons. Mitt, nobody believes that, man. Nobody believes that. This is the problem. When you have Mitt Romney's resume over the last 3 years, nobody's now going to believe that you really just heard the facts of the case and just my faith is what led me to believe it. Come on, Mitt. You lost your election in 2012 because Barack Obama pasted you because you were too spineless to actually fight back. That's fine. Whatever. Some people just don't have that in them. We all can't be warriors. It's no big deal. People are built differently. Then Donald Trump gets elected president of the United States, with your endorsement, I might add, and you run to him to beg to be Secretary of State. We even have that famous picture of Mitt Romney sitting down with Donald Trump, asking to be Secretary of State. We have the picture of Mitt Romney walking out of the White House after discussing being Secretary of State with Donald Trump. Donald Trump chooses to go a different route. Well, that route sucked anyway, but that's another story. And Mitt Romney got bitter. Runs back to Utah, where he now lives again after Massachusetts, whatever, he's very loyal. Runs back to Utah, runs for Senate, gets Donald Trump's endorsement, which he asks for, wins, and now he decided he wanted to be the petty baby. You remember as soon as he won that Senate election in Utah, first thing he did before he even got back to Washington was pen some big anti-Trump letter. I think it was for Washington Post or something like that. He decided he was going to be the anti-Trump guy, which is fine if that's what you've always been, but that's not what you've always been, Mitt. You've been all over the map, not just on Trump, on every issue under the sun. You're pro-life before you were pro-choice, before you're pro-life, before you're pro-choice, just depends on where you're living. So you're going to have to excuse me if I don't believe this. Well, it wasn't personal. It's serious. Trump's people put out a nice little video on it.
Slick, slippery, stealthy. Mitt Romney had us fooled.
Being in Donald Trump's magnificent hotel and having his endorsement is a delight.
Posing as a Republican, he tried to infiltrate Trump's administration as Secretary of State.
President-elect Trump is the very man who can lead us to that better future.
Now his cover's blown, exposed by news reports as a Democrat's secret asset.
Can't believe you're gonna lose. Yeah. Barack Obama will be re-elected president of the United States.
Plan B, Plan C, Plan D are now gone. And so you start looking at the Romney math and you're saying, well then, what's Plan E?
With tears and a gloomy atmosphere as supporters left the convention center in Boston following Romney's concession speech.
That was a race, I have to say, folks, that should have been won.
I wouldn't call anything encouraging for Hillary Clinton at the moment, to be honest with you, my friend.
Hillary Clinton has called Donald Trump to concede the race.
President of the United States of America, Donald Trump.
Oof.